This is Colgan and welcome back to my channel on YouTube. So many of you ask me about sizing the walls, prepping the walls, and I have a very simple go-to solution for wall prep. Why do we size the walls? When you're sizing the walls, what you're looking to do is to prevent the paste from eating into the paint. If you ever get this on your hands, the paste, you'll know that it starts to burn. It starts to eat at the paint. A lot of veteran wallpaper installers have taught me, got to put a barrier between the paste and your paint, especially if it's flat. There are some paints and some wall coverings that you could literally hang right over your paint and you wouldn't have a problem getting it off in the future. What sizing does is it puts a barrier between your wall covering and the wall. The reason for doing that is so that the paste doesn't eat at the paint, but also, and equally important, is that the wallpaper come down when you want to take it off. You see the word strippable on the paste that we purchase, right? Strippable, clear strippable. So the sizing that you use has to do with protecting flat surfaces like that. That's a very porous surface. What is porous? It's a surface that has tiny little holes and it's rough. Your hand doesn't slide over it. You get traction when you rub your finger over it. That's porous. The way to tell is to do a simple little test. I don't want to lick my finger on video, but if you go up to your wall and you do this, and you can see that the liquid absorbs into the surface, well, that's a telltale sign that you need to size your walls. It's so porous that the liquid absorbs into the paint. Another way to determine whether or not your wall is ready for wallpaper is to, and this doesn't have to do with sizing, but since I'm on the subject of wall prep, you would come up to the wall, penetrate the top layer of paint, put tape over that, pull it off. If your paint comes with your tape, you're not ready to hang paper on this surface, okay? You have to check for the soundness of the substrate. You want to make sure that the wall is going to be able to take the wall covering that you're looking to hang. So in that case, you would definitely need a sizing if your paint came off with the tape, or you may want to check it in various areas on the wall or walls at different levels, maybe at the bottom, the middle, and at the top, to see if that was just a fluke, if the paint came off, or if it's going on all over the place. In that case, you need to do some wall prep and definitely have to size it. But you may also have a moisture issue behind the wall. So this little test, making the X and pulling on it with tape, just putting tape over it and then taking it off. If you're taking off the paint with it, it means that when you hang your paper and you manipulate it into place and you pull it off, put it back on, you're going to be pulling this off. Please listen to this. This is something a lot of people don't know. If you get your paint coming off here, well, it's a sign that your paint is going to cause your wall covering to bubble. You see how that came off? Now, you may not like to admit it. You got a problem there. You have a problem. Why did it come off? Here's why. Builders like to skip essential steps in preparing walls. It takes time after these walls are sanded to dust them off. It takes time to supervise the people who are supposed to sand these and dust it off. If you have dust on the substrate and you paint over it, think about building a house on sand. This is essentially what we're doing here. We're building a house on sand. If the paint doesn't grip to the wall surface because the wall is dusty with finishing compound dust, you're going to get this test failure. So we know we need to prep this wall. Now that doesn't mean we have to scrape this wall. No. It means that the wall needs to be checked out to see if any of the paint is going to come off anywhere. We know that we have a poorly prepared wall. It's poorly prepared. So we definitely have to seal it by sizing it. And then after we do that, after it dries, we can do our tape test again with the X. And your sealer should seal that in and make that a strong surface on which to hang your paper. Now let me show you my sizing, which I use for 90% or more of my wallpaper installations. With a roller, I simply go over areas like that, just like you're painting, and I get a good consistency going, and then I act as if I'm painting it. Just normal strokes up and down, but I want it thick. I want it thick. Not sloppy thick, but I want a nice layer of this on my substrate, okay? Now this area will use a quick 5-minute compound to fill in that little void. But just to show you, that's how I put on nice and thick. And that'll absorb into this porous surface. And when the people go to remove the wallpaper 5-6 years down the road, this barrier stays on the wall and the wallpaper comes off. If you hang wallpaper directly on the surface, all of the pores in that paint are going to suck against that paste and against that paper, and your paper is going to come off in Band-Aid-like strips. And you'll regret the day that you ever heard the word wallpaper. Now, what is this material? Well, I've shown it to my faithful viewers who will know what it is. I got this off of Amazon. You will pay pennies on the dollar for this versus all of the stuff you see on the shelves in the store. This is a strong bonding agent. This is glue. And what you do is you dilute it and you add 3 parts or 4 or 5, 3 to 5 parts water and 1 part weld bond. I like the 3 to 5 ratio. But on the instructions, you'll see that they give you an effective ratio of 3 and 5. So, there you go. And that's what I use. That's what I use for surfaces that are desperately in need of sizing, okay? I'm going to continue with this. I hope you learned something from this video. Many of you who follow me will say, hey YouTube fans, thank you for watching my channel and this video. Do me a favor, if you like this video, please go ahead and click on like and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button. Many of you who follow me will say, Spencer, you said use oil. Spencer, you said use bin. Take note that this is a painted surface. It's flat paint. No need to use bin, no need to use oil. If I'm doing a sheetrock repair and I got dust all over it, I'm going to bin. Bin dries quick, dust off the walls, put bin on, that's going to seal the surface. And I might wait till the bin dries and then I put on this. It depends. There's not one answer for every solution, but if you had no other thing, this is a product you can use all the time, all the time. New sheetrock, dusty sheetrock after you dust it off, chalky surfaces where it's old paint, you wipe it down and your hand turns white. Any questions, just leave it in the bottom. Thanks for watching my channel. Thank you for being part of my growing channel on YouTube, which has now over 15,000 viewers and is now receiving advertisements from promoters of various products on my channel that have to do with home improvement, tools, etc. Thanks for being part of my YouTube family.